Today,
yes,
if you're a member of the NDC, get it once and for all that your Supreme Court is the polling station. That your Supreme Court is going to be where? The polling station. We declare the result there and there, we go home.
So, whether you win or not.
We declare the result there and there, but we are winning. We are winning this election. Look, there is only one outcome for the 2024 election. Only one outcome. John Mahama being declared winner. And listen carefully. A John Mahama victory is one that is not quote unquote
by the NPP supporters on social media and the mainstream media. Most of them are saying that there is a confusion in the minds of Ghanaians that there's so many definitions you people are given to the 24-hour economy policy that the flag bearer, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, talked about. That he's talked about something and communicators of the party are talking about different things. How will you make Ghanaians understand it this evening?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. First of all, a person who believes that review means cancellation is already a person who is dishonest. A person who does not have credibility. A person who has a confused mind. And for that matter, such a person is not predisposed to understanding what the 24-hour economy policy proposal is. Listen, let me tell you this. There is nobody in the NPP today, right, who can tell me that he has a better understanding of the 24-hour economy policy proposal than the General Secretary of TUC, Dr. Yaban. Dr. Yaban said, H. John Dramani Mahama's 24-hour economy policy proposal is a game changer. You cannot tell me that there is anybody in the NPP who has a better understanding than him. Two, Mr. John Kwachi of the Institute of Economic Affairs has come out to say that the 24-hour economy policy proposal is going to be a catalyst for economic transformation. I do not know who in the NPP had the stature of him. The Federation of Labour had come out to say that the 24-hour economy policy proposal will be exceedingly meaningful in creating jobs and more jobs. Not only that, Guta. I listened to the president of Guta even make the point that when you go to Accra or Kanshi, the Tudu areas, in the afternoon, the place is so congested. He said a proper implementation of the 24-hour economy policy proposal would even ensure that the thing that create the congestions are usually cars that are coming to offload goods and others. And that a proper 24-hour economy working would ensure that those vehicles will come and offload in the night, so that in the day they will not be there creating. So I didn't even know about this perspective until he brought that on. Do you know why the NPP is doing that? They have a consultant, and the consultant told them that, listen, the way the 24-hour economy policy proposal had caught fire with Ghanaians, and there is credible poll to show overwhelming support for the policy, they need to deliberately discredit the policy. It should be a deliberate strategy by the NPP to discredit. And so for sudden, you notice that the NPP went on a particular campaign in all attempt of trying to discredit the policy. You see, I grew up in a typical, possibly rural area in Kwanta. And growing up, what we used to do is that when we see a mango tree with ripe mango on our way to school, we will stop and begin to throw stones into the mango tree. Do you know why?
No, unless you tell me.
No, because we have seen ripe mango.
So we all want to get it.
We all want to get it. Nobody throws stones at unripe mango. Because it's of what? Yes. No use. And so, immediately you see the MPP go on the attack against the 24-hour economy policy proposal. It should tell you that they see something in it. And therefore, the spirited campaign to discredit it. It is part of a consultant's work to them. That if you allow this policy the way it is going, without attempting to create confusion in the minds of Ghanaians, you are doomed. And they are doomed. Whatever they do, Ghanaians have accepted. Look, you, and I've always maintained that the best evidence of the use of the 24-hour economy policy proposal, do you know who it came from?
No.
Dr. Mahmoud Bamia's own biography.
I don't get it.
Yes.
How?
Good. Bamia says that when he went abroad to study, listen carefully.
Yeah.
When he went abroad to study, he says, in the day, you go and work 6 hours.
Yeah, I remember.
In the afternoon, you go and do 6 hours, construction work. Then later, you go and do another 6 hours. Then later in the evening, you go and do. And that is how he was able to sustain himself until he finished university abroad. That is 24 hours. So the best person to have defined what the 24-hour economy policy proposal means in real life came from Dr. Mahmoud Bamia. And that is why, if you recall, in his attempt to attack the policy in Wale Wale, in North East, he said, oh, John Mahama is all over the place saying 24-hour economy. John Mahama doesn't understand. Then he said, the policy is a bad policy. Like the gods, we say, he who the gods wants to destroy, within a twinkle of an eye. Then they say, no, it's a good policy. How can something that is bad be a good policy? In fact, he says, oh, it's good. And that it is happening already.
Yeah.
You heard him right.
Yeah.
So the MPP led by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia understands what the 24-hour economy policy proposal is, except that the consultant had informed them that you must discredit the policy. And so even what they understand, they would want to create confusion in the minds of people. What is it about? You, whilst you are here, do you close this radio?
Yeah, we close at 12 a.m.
Good. Now, when you say you close, it means you close,
yeah,
correct?
It means we switch off our machines and go home to sleep.
Good. Look at Joy FM. Even after 12, they have a program.
Yeah, music is still being played. It means that technicians are still on duty, and then even some presenters.
If you extend that concept to as many other economic activities, would it not support the economy?
But look, I've noticed that some Ghanaians who seem not to understand the policy are talking about security. They are saying that yes, if it is going to be implemented by the government, it means that some business activities will be taking place or operating in the evening. And if it is going to be so, what would be is going to happen in case there's a robbery or maybe some miscreants want to attack and then still, yeah, who would secure the what is it called, property for them?
At the core of the 24-hour economy policy proposal is the question of creating jobs. And thankfully, you have raised a very important issue. So most fuel stations, after 10, sometimes 9, they close. So you where you are now, if you need petrol urgently at night, you do not have the benefit of any fuel station. So H.E. John Dramani Mahama is saying that the only reason why they are closing, ordinarily they would want to operate throughout. The only reason why they have to close is security challenges. Yeah. So connected to the 24-hour economy is the question of increasing police population by recruiting more.
So is Ghana's financially stable to do that?
You see, you just heard the government of Ghana paid $10 million for spare parts for ambulance. Right?
Yeah.
You've also heard the government of Ghana had given $12 million for the Pualugu Dam without anything. Yeah. You've also heard the government of Ghana had given $40 million to a company called Mortal Angel to do the motorway for nothing. We have also paid $2 million to a company for a sky train that is still in the sky. Look at all the money that we've spent over useless ventures. The number of young men it can take into the Ghana police. So it is not the question that we do not have money. It's the imprudence, the wastage. And look, all we need is a president who is disciplined. As for this president, he lacks discipline. The thing called financial discipline. Look, this is a man who at the time he had a fully functioning presidential private jet. The man decided to be flying rented private jets so he can bath in the sky. Do you know how much Akufo-Addo spent on those private jets?
No.
No. Over 58 million Ghana cedis. Look.
So there's money in Ghana?
No! I'll demonstrate something to you right now. I beg you, just stay here with me. On the issue of finance, just stay here with me.
Okay.
In 8 years, listen carefully to the numbers. Possibly right.
Sure.
I want you to write.
I'm reading.
In 8 years, Mills, John Mahama, the overall financial resource that was available to them, and when I say financial resource, I am talking about one, taxes.
Okay.
Or revenue generally. Two, grants. When I say grant, you hear European Union had given you free money. It's not a loan.
Okay.
It's called a grant. Then you have loans. If you put that money together, in 8 years, the amount of money, right? In 8 years, the amount of money that came into the hands of John Mahama, Mills, and Misata was 248 billion. I want you to write it down.
248 billion.
248 billion Ghana cedis.
Okay.
In 8 years.
8 years. I'm done.
In 7 years, 7 months. Akufo-Addo. Do you know how much had come into their hands?
No.
Tax revenue alone, 412 billion Ghana cedis.
Tax revenue.
Tax revenue. Taxes they take from you and I.
Okay.
Alone.
412
billion Ghana cedis.
Oh.
You are shocked. I've not added the borrowings to it. I've not added the grants to it. If you put all together.
So this is in 7 years or less than 8 years.
7 years, 7 months. Tax revenue alone, 412 billion. If you add borrowing to it and grants, do you know how much it is?
No.
923 billion Ghana cedis.
Plus the external loans, the internal, everything that they have got.
928 billion.
Almost 1 trillion.
Almost 1 trillion.
923
billion. And I want any MPP person to come into the studio now to challenge me. Because I have all their revenue breakdowns. Look, last year alone, total revenue that GRA raked from you was 113 billion Ghana cedis.
But yes, all this thing, they said there's something to show for it.
What?
The last time we asked this question here, they pointed phase 2 of the what is it called Tamale International Airport.
Hold on. I beg you. What phase 2? What phase 2?
Tamale International Airport.
Please. I recall vividly this Tamale Airport project. At a point, I even sued the contractor on behalf of the family from Kumbungu that shares.
Yeah.
I sued them. So I knew more about this airport. First of all, the decision to expand this airport was the sole initiative of John Mahama. I recall vividly when H.E. John Dramani Mahama took the initiative to expand the airport the way you see it today. Anthony Kabu did an interview on City FM and said it was unnecessary.
That the construction or expansion of the Tamale International Airport
was unnecessary. And he gave the reason that instead of John Mahama expanding, he should have used the money to help Northerners. The NPP had always opposed the opening up of the North, historically and everything. Sometimes it pains me a lot that with the benefit of time, people tend to forget where we are coming from. At the time, when Jerry Rawlings decided to even bring electricity to northern Ghana, the NPP in all form and shape opposed it. They never saw the benefit. When Jerry Rawlings started the rural electrification projects, today many of us, we are 18, 20 years, 22, 23. We don't know where we are coming from. It has to take bold leadership by Jerry Rawlings to transform. And that is the tradition that we have continued. I am telling you this. Let Anthony Kabu call into the City FM Eyewitness News. He said this airport project was unnecessary. At that time, H.E. John Dramani Mahama brought the Brazilians to come and expand the airport. Part of it is what we are seeing today. Nana Addo just came and continued. Is that what they say they have used the 923 billion for?
They also talk about dualization of Yindi town rules. So construction of or rehabilitation of the what is it called a road connecting Yindi and Zabzogo.
I'll tell you something. When John Mahama was leaving office, a kilometer of road, the maximum it went for was 1 million Ghana cedis. Today, under the watch of Akufo-Addo, a kilometer of road is going for 1.5 million, 2 million Ghana cedis. Inflated projects. That is where your money is going to. As I speak to you today, Dr. Bawumia's brother, you know, Bawumia has 19 siblings from his father's side.
Okay.
Some of them, he shares one mother, one father with them. One of them is Ibrahim Bawumia. He has a company called Resource Access Company Limited. Major roads in Ghana are given to him, sole source. Sole source that his brother accused John Mahama of by 2016. That is how his brother has been awarded contract. As I speak to you, the chairman of the Ghana Armed Forces Council is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, correct? If you go to Southern Command, Teshi and others, the roadways that are going on are awarded to Bawumia's brother. So source. What more is conflict of interest than this? And so, when they come and tell you that this, find out the cost of the project. Inflated. So sourced.
But these are all a result of the monies you are talking about.
No! If a thing will cost you 2 cedis and you do it 5 cedis, you are a wasteful person. So, ordinarily, if the thing is costing you 2 cedis, what it means that you could have gotten 2 for it.
Yeah.
But because of your evil mind, your imprudence, wastefulness, the thing that you are supposed to get 2, you are getting it 1 because you have inflated the cost. sole source.
For the first time, Tamale or Northern region has gotten some call it overpass, but an interchange, as the government communicators describe it. For the first time.
I'm disappointed that you've raised this issue.
Why?
So disappointed. Look, they went to the Chinese and said they were going to arrange what they call a barter. A barter arrangement with the Chinese. Sino-Hydro. Have you heard that before?
Yeah, I heard it actually.
So as part of the Sino-Hydro, the claim was that they were going to use our bauxite, refine it, export it, create an escrow. Create an escrow. And that escrow, they'll be using it to offset for the road project. So it was supposed to be $2 billion. They did a drawdown of $600 million out of this the $2 billion.
The cost of this interchange or project.
Yes. That Sino-Hydro go and audit the project. Highly inflated. And Bamia today is using the process of those matters. Go and find out the people that those road contracts were awarded to. Persons who today are major contributors to his campaign. And so whereas you think that they have done an overpass, it was a conduit to raise campaign funds. And so the money that had done this project could have built maybe twice or three times of that. That is what they have done to hoodwink you. So the man is giving you 2 and he has taken 5 away. Between the two of you, who is the winner? He. I beg you, you are a journalist. Go and find out this road, this overhead. The company that supplied chippings, the company that was supplying those other materials, go and find out.
And iron rods and
go and find
whatever.
out. Go and find out. I've given you a task.
Definitely, I will do that.
Go and find out. Request for the construction documents. Let's come and sit here and do another debate. If you know it, your heart will bleed. You'll be angry within you. Is that all they claim they've used the money for? Do you know how much we are talking about? 922, listen carefully, 922 billion Ghana cedis. 7 years, 7 months. As against John Mohammed's 248 billion. Look at the disparity. There's a popular verse in the Bible. In fact, if you go to Legon, University of Ghana, Legon Hall, the motto, to whom much is given, much is expected. You have gotten 923 billion Ghana cedis of financial resources. Now, do you know the most scary part? And I'll tell you now. In 8 years, John Mahama and Miss Arthur Mills went into the Eurobond market and took $3.5 billion from Eurobond. Write it down.
2.3.
No, 3.5 billion.
3.5 million.
Billion dollars.
Billion. Okay.
In 8 years.
Okay.
In the space of 5 years, do you know how much Bawumia and Akufo-Addo have taken from Eurobond?
No.
13 billion.
Dollars.
In fact, they took 2.25 billion from Franklin Templeton alone and did another $11 billion Eurobond holders. Do you know why we had to go to the IMF?
No.
We got to a point where we can no longer service our debts. We're overwhelmed.
We didn't even have the capacity to pay again. And nobody was willing to lend us money again. So that resulted in the domestic debt exchange program.
Now, listen carefully. This is where I'm coming. Listen carefully.
Yes.
Listen carefully.
Yeah.
From 2009 to 2016,
yes,
the Ghanaian budget had 3 major line items. What we call salaries and emolument. 2, interest payment and amortization. 3, statutory payment. Statutory payment, you have no option than to pay. So government takes your revenue and it has to share it among those line items. So NHIS, for instance, is by law 60 days, 30 days after receiving the 2.5 VAT, you have to go and give it to NHIS. Yeah. Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund 2.5, you have to go and do it. You don't have a choice. Road Fund, you have to do it. You don't have a choice. We call them statutory payments. Then payment for your debts. So under John Mahama, Mills and Mr. Arthur, the number 1 ranked item was salaries and emolument. So the bulk of the taxes we were taking, we're using it to pay salaries for Ghanaian workers, to make things better. When Akufo-Addo and Bawumia took over, the situation reversed. Do you know what was the number 1 item? Interest payment and amortization. So every year, the amount left to pay our debt was more than how much we're paying Ghanaian workers with. I want any MPP person to come into the studios and challenge me. When I talk, I put out the challenge. Interest payment and amortization ranked number 1 under Akufo-Addo. Do you know why?
No.
I will explain something. Do you know that at the time Bawumia, Kenoforiata and Anado were taking the $13 billion Euro bond, each of the bond, their own companies were advising them and they were paying themselves. And so when we go for $2 billion, 0.something% to go as commission. So you see, you help somebody to get a place to rent. Then the person say the amount you paid for the rent, pay me my commission. That is what Akufo-Addo, Bawumia and Kenoforiata were doing with their own company. Have you seen this before? Have you seen John Mahama go for Euro bond and he has set up a company advising him that go for the bond. Go for the bond. And at the end of the day, John Mahama, the same John Mahama would tell himself that I am deserving of 0.5% of the money as my commission. What more is conflict of interest than this? And the chairman of the economic management at the time all this thing was happening is no other person than Dr. Muhammadu. Look, let me tell you something. Do you know why Akufo-Addo has been ranting all over the place? You will hand over power. You will not hand over power. Do you know why? He's scared. He's paranoid. Accountability. He and Bawumia, they are scared. Accountability.
So, but if they have good plans or vision for the country, should they allow someone they once described as incompetent to come and take over?
Brother, hold on.
And then
hold on. You see, I read elective mathematics as my elective subject in secondary school, and when I went to the university, I read economics single major before I decided to go and do my law. Mathematics follows logic. So let's run the logic.
Okay.
So somebody runs an economy. The exchange rate was 4 Ghana cedis to $1. Then you go and organize a public lecture at a university. And you say, it's because you are incompetent. That is why the dollar is selling 4 cedis to $1. Vote him out. He's incompetent. And in fact, to up it, these were your words. When in doubt, observe the exchange rates. And that when the fundamentals are what?
Weak.
The exchange rates
will expose you.
So that's the baseline logic. Correct. 4 cedi to $1 is a mark of incompetence. Logic. Now 16 cedis, 15 cedis to $1 will go up. We suppose.
But they said it is as a result of the Russia-Ukraine war, COVID-19.
Are we done?
Yes,
Are you done?
Yes, that's what they told us.
Okay. So 2019, 2019, Mr. Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, as the chair of the economic mismanagement team, set up a 40-member committee to advise them on how to arrest the depreciation of the city. Question: 2019 there was COVID, correct? I'm asking you.
No, there was no COVID.
2019
COVID hit Ghana.
No. 2019 there was Russia-Ukraine war.
Yeah, I remember. No, you know, COVID started in 2020.
No, so I am just exposing the poverty in that logic. Now let me ask you something. So where you are now, I'm just using it as an example. You have diabetes. You have kidney problem. You have all underlying or conditions.
Yeah.
So you go to the hospital with COVID. And so a person who has these underlying conditions, it's so easier to die out of COVID. So you got COVID. On the bottom line, the doctor will say COVID killed him. Correct. But everybody knows what
you were having underlying health conditions.
Already, the Ghanaian economy was already on the downward spiral to doom when COVID came.
Were there signs of what we are talking about, that the economy was going to crash? Were there signs that we're heading towards doom?
I just gave you a classic example. I said that. It is not John Mahama. Akufo-Addo and Bawumia set up a 40-member committee to work on arresting the depreciation of the city in 2019. Why?
This was before
COVID. So even before COVID, they themselves realized that where the city was going, it was going to be problematic, and has set up a 40-member committee. Curiously, when they set up the 40-member committee, they didn't see Bawumia worthy to be a member. They realized that the man was empty.
Was he not the one?
They realized that the man was a braggart
who set up the team.
He didn't even know. Ken Ofori-Atta realized that the guy was empty. Talk, braggart. You see that kind of man that would tell a woman that I will take you to the heavens. Leave your boyfriend and come for me.
I am a man.
I am a man.
Okay.
Excuse my language. You go to the room and within a minute, I don't know.
Yeah,